to Dial a Shovel, your local residential snow removal service. Please contact us if you have any questions. We look forward to helping you keep your property safe and clear. Our number is 774-634-6200.
Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. My name is Charlie Perry, your host, along with my guest, Eric Britto, co-founder
Hey,
of TrueBounce backboards. What's up, Eric? How you doing?
hi, Charlie. How are you? Great to see you, man. You look well. Everything is good in the neighborhood.
You too, man. I love that hoodie, man. I love it. Gotta get one. I gotta
Yeah,
get one,
that,
man.
we had to get one of those for you, man, so you can
Yeah,
wear it on the show. I know you got your
yeah,
own brand going, but we can collaborate,
yeah.
Charlie.
We could
You
do
know what I
that.
mean? Uh,
This is from from Lionel Walker, Mother Hugger, and it
nice.
and he was a guest, so I definitely got to get that
What
True
size? What
Bounce
size you
merchandise.
take? What size you
Uh,
take, Charlie? Large?
years ago I used to say sexy, but extra large is good.
I know. You used to be short. That's why I didn't know what size.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get you one of my t-shirts. So just what size you wear?
I take a large, Charlie.
All right, I'm gonna get
I'm
that to
trying to.
you.
I'm trying to stay at large.
Yeah. Well, you are, man. You're looking good, man.
Praise God to that. That's
Yep,
absolutely right.
Lord is good to you.
Amen
Um,
to that.
I mentioned you about being a founder of TrueBounce. I also want to mention your co-founder, Wayne Newton. You
Yes.
both did a great job, and we're proud of it, especially when you kind of you see where TrueBounce backboards are going all over the country. It's actually just it's almost a routine. You're gonna see it eventually. Wherever you go.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm very proud of you. And when you look at the design, you say, "Wow!" Now I know where Eric B got that. Where he got that idea from.
Mhm.
It's you and I playing at Monty's, and playing the game, and it's the backboard we were looking at. The only thing you perfected it. You made it that better.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Absolutely. It's just like it brings tears to my eyes today, almost 20 years later. Charlie, it's just I tell people if you do things for the right reason, God will intervene and be part of it. The first intention was to improve the game of basketball and have the kids and the players have more fun.
true,
And
true.
if your intention is for the greater good, then you can't lose.
Yeah,
Um, he has to God has to be involved, and he has, because this thing is just too big for anybody. I didn't realize how big it was trying to change the backboard
yeah,
in,
and
in, in the whole world.
it's I if you're on the floor refereeing, you're doing you're part of the game still. You was as a player, and you're still part of the game as a referee. And and the one thing when I admire about all the game at all levels is if he just shot that off the backboard, he would have made it.
Yeah,
Chances are he would have made that. And
yeah,
I talk about it all the time from the NBA on down. I'm saying, man, just you should have used the backboard on that shot, And I, I I'm always saying it about Jason Tatum, but who am I? That's Jason Tatum shooting the ball. But if he had used the backboard just a little bit more, he'd
yeah,
probably make a huge amount of shots.
yeah. It's interesting because the actual backboard that's in the game today, it really doesn't work for the players. It doesn't connect to the physics of playing basketball. And we always say in the office when we have meetings, the backboard came with the facility or
Hmm.
the playground. It was part of the design, the engineers and architects. And then we went to play and we just had our sneaker and our ball. So
Yes.
whatever was there, we played on. And we were discussing the other day. I said, Charlie, do you know what the first backboard was? And when Mr. Naismith invented the game?
No, I'm not.
It was a
Uh,
wire. It was wire mesh, Charlie.
wow.
Wire mesh, and then it was a wood backboard, and then of course when it went to the arenas, they had to put glass so people could see through it and the referees
Hmm.
could see through it.
Yes.
So it went from a soft material to a giving material to a non rebound, a non-giving material.
Yeah.
And TrueBounce is all of that put together. So we incorporated the wire mesh with the holes, the wood backboard with the forgiveness, and the glass
Hmm.
backboard for aesthetics and visual principles.
Wow.
So that's history all in one.
I believe when we had our mutual friends on, we had the Steel Brothers, and what I talked about was, is you getting all these NBA people that you meet over the years just to sign that backboard and autograph that True Bounce backboard and just keep it. I mean, that would be nice, just seeing all those different names all over that backboard,
Yeah,
and you just restoring it and keeping it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
It's been an amazing ride. It's gratifying when you go into New York City and other big cities, and how the neighborhood people just it's what we're doing is we're putting the basketball backboard that is played in the arenas in the playgrounds.
hmm
It makes it their church, their NBA, their sanctuary.
Yes.
Take care of it, and they can't believe it's a clear backboard that doesn't shatter or it doesn't get graffitied, and it works for the kids. And the cities are just going. The big cities are going haywire about it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a good investment, mentally and financially. It's a good investment for everyone all around. And um, we got a couple of guests out there. Joey Gonzalez, I see you. How you doing? He's saying hello to you, Eric, and
Hey,
Lucky Daniels. How you
how
doing,
you
man?
doing, guys?
The so you got a lot of history in this city when it comes to basketball, and and it starts from your household. Your mom, your dad. You guys are always around the sport, always trying to maintain the sport in the community, and you've done so much, for a lot of people. And I just want to let you know that, it means a lot to me. And especially when I left this area and I would talk about, the different things that went down at Monty's that you guys participated in and organized. And I said, wow, you guys, well, it was in California or Florida. I said, you should have something like this. This is what we had in New Bedford. And then eventually you would see that it was actually coming to play in different small towns that it was in. So you guys put a huge impression on me over the years, and I just want to commend you for that.
Oh well, thank you, Charlie. The respect is mutual. Where you was there protecting us too. Some of the knuckleheads that tried to get in our way, and you can always count on Charlie in the blue suit to be in the neighborhood. You kind of like parted the ways when you came because they knew
Mhm.
that you was from the neighborhood and they couldn't really they didn't want to mess with you.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's similar to like my dad.
yeah,
My father, he was down there. It was his church, his home, his sanctuary, and when he put on an event down in the playground, people knew it was for them, and they parted the ways and
hmm
to them, and no disrespect anywhere in that area when we did the events and the tournaments. And it's
yeah,
just because people know what your intention is.
hmm
They know. Just like my wife used to head up the children's church, and they knew when she went in there that the children knew that she was for them, and they paid attention, and
yeah,
that happens everywhere. They know you're for them. You're trying to do something to improve them or have them in the front of your mind.
it
They know it.
makes it that much easier.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
they know, they work with you with it because it's not for you first. It's it's like the Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God and his
Yes.
righteousness, and then all the other things will be added onto you. So if like this
Yeah,
show right here, people talk, I hear it
it's
all the
true.
time,
And
and because you're not doing anything you didn't do when we were growing up. You're doing the same thing,
mhm,
just at a different venue.
I yes, just trying to keep it all going, keep it it's communications, discussions, and I like that. I like to give people flowers while they're standing, only because it's no good when you're trying to praise and praise people, but they had passed on. It just doesn't, you know. I just think that they should hear it while they're standing, and not that they're looking for it, because usually most of the people we're around, they're just doing it just because it's in their soul, it's in their heart.
Mm,
And um and I also want to, I mean, we talked about basketball, we talked about your company and the True Bounce, but I also want to commend you for ministry and all that you're doing, and passing on the good word, and that's another thing that you know you got to be commended for,
mm,
just moving that along, and teaching, and living and learning, um in a biblical way,
mm.
so
Amen.
thank
Thank
you.
you for that. Yeah,
Yes.
I give all the glory to Jesus on that one. Absolutely, man. We
Yes.
we've got a Don Andrews.
Yes.
Hello, gentlemen. Good to see you both, Mr. Britto. The YMCA will be reconstructing the facility, and I know the gym backboards will be coming down. Just saying, continue success to you,
Yes.
you
Another.
both. I have Merry Christmas there,
Yeah.
Miss
Merry Christmas.
Dawn.
That's
She's,
it. My
she's a
my.
lifelong neighborhood gal, beautiful girl that we are very good friends with.
That's it. I talked about her over the years about coming on here, and maybe talking about Miss Vervet, as she was put, contestant in there, and the Verdi and Vets pageants, and probably a few pageants, and I think she
Yes.
was in a, but and dancing, she was dancing while we were in high school and doing her thing. But Dawn, God bless you. I really I appreciate that comment. It means a lot, and
Absolutely.
continue with your success and doing the right thing.
I get her
Uh,
son is a chef. I met my daughter Jade's in California, and we got to go to his restaurant, and he took care of us.
he's
Although I do think he came back east, but when he was in California, we got to see him.
he's a very good chef.
Yes.
I actually experienced his good cooking, and definitely when I left, I said, "Wow, he did a good job," and it's he loves it. It's his craft, he loves it. It's just like, things we do, we love it. But you can see that he loves it, and he only may be cooking a small meal, but he's into it. And
That's just like you're doing right now, Charlie. You just cook small meals, man. You get the folks on the show, and you just cook it up. You put a little sauce on it, so you put a little
that's
seasoning.
it.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It really is. I mean,
I
I'm not surprised, but I got to give you it's one it's one up. I'll say that
Yeah,
much. One
thank
up.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. Charlie took the time to know us on a personal level, and I
Yeah.
did,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to be, a bully behind a badge, it's just, I'm there to do what I can, there to see what wish you're seeing. I want to see the game too, man. I want to see my friends play. I want to see the guys and girls on the court. I definitely want to see that, and also strike up a conversation. Um, but I'm also going to protect my neighborhood, um, and do it with some kindness, and that's all I
Charlie,
wanted to do.
what did you do? 20 years as an officer?
Just under 30, it's 31 total because I was a
Ah, that was,
cadet. So,
oh, okay.
and yep, and I just really, and it was tailor made for me, and I didn't know it. But some people did know it, like Anthony Lesser. who told me to go down there and do it. And I just, him being one of the guys I looked up to, a mentor, and, uh, I just went down, took the cadet exam and then the police exam, and it was all based on him telling me. Other than that, I would have went to the U.S. Army. I was about 24 hours from getting sworn in Boston, and I was ready to go. I was just looking for a job, and that was going to turn out to be a career. And I said, well, let me do it through the military, like my, family did before me, and I said, I'm going to go. But I was unloading a truck, and Tony Lesser came by and said, hey, take the exam. So the rest is history.
Charlie, you talk about congratulating me for the ministry, and we're just doing our job, showing what Jesus did. And this comment, Charlie took the time to know us on a personal level, and that's biblical right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That so it's natural.
It means a lot.
What you did. So
it's our community, man. If you don't see anybody else doing that, it's only because they kind of lost touch of what the elders have taught them. And people like Guy Oliveira and Big Fergie and a lot of guys, Nestor Carter, Manny Ortega, they talked to me when I was a young person and guided me much more. There was many people. Old Captain Horn, he was good to me. A lot of good conversations, that I had with the mentors on the job, and they just guided me to the right way. So let me see. Do you know this young man, Eric?
Oh, Mike Simeo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was my rival.
He
battled on the basketball court. Wow.
We talk all the time. And,
do you really? How's he doing?
Good man. He's doing well. He's got a book coming. I can't wait to do that podcast. Nice. And his book is going to be very, very interesting. A lot of basketball stories in there, and I can't wait until Mike's done with it.
He was a competitive player. Very good.
Sure was. Yeah, just love of basketball, and he had it in him.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Billy here. Merry Christmas, my new best friend. How many times you check out Billy?
I told him when we met last year, we became instant hits together, and he supported me. He bought a couple of TrueBounce shirts and stuff for his family. And Mike Kahn was kind of like organizing some shooting. So I talked to him on the phone. I said, hey, Billy, you're like my new best friend, but don't tell Michael Kahn.
I love it. Billy Mack is a good dude, man.
Good dude, he's a good son. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
See, got my brother on here. Bang, bang, my guy.
All right.
Kevin, good job. He's Eric, he just, I never had to look for a friend. I had my brother right there by my side.
Yeah, that's
and so we both made it easier for each other when we traveled and moved to California. I didn't have to look for friends. I had my brother by my side, and actually my younger brother Malik was there too. We had to keep things strong, while we were growing up and later on. But what made you? Well, let me go back to high school. All right, you had a pretty good high school team, and I talked about it with the Steele brothers, and we talked about, you guys at one point were on different teams and rivaling each other probably at a younger age. Was that middle school? What was that? You and Donald on one team?
Yeah, basketball, football, more so football than basketball.
More so football? Okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, Dwayne played on the Barristers, and Donald, myself, Michael Grant, and Sonny Boy. I can't remember with Sonny Boy, even if Sonny played football. I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Kahn didn't play football, but Dwayne was our rival. He played for the Foresters, But basketball, we played on the same team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played at the Boys and Girls Club together, and then, of course, Wallaway.
Mm-hmm.
In the 8th grade, we played in the 7th and 8th graders, and then of course we all went to New Bedford High School, and Dwayne and Donald played football and basketball, and Michael just played football, and he ran track, and of course Sonny and Michael Kahn, they went to Stang.
Yeah, they needed more blessings, they needed to go to Stang, they needed to have church every day.
And that also Nuno Barrows was tagging with them.
Yes.
Nuno Barrows was at Stang too. Nuno and Joey and Nelson, they were part of the neighborhood guys too. They went to Stang.
In fact, Nuno's another podcast that I'm looking to do. I can't wait to do that. But big what was it? Mike Moore, what was it? Morris.
Derek Morris.
Derek
Morris.
All these years, I was, he to me, he was that gentle giant. Seeing him, but I didn't realize the one teacher I was so intimidated about, and I wouldn't do anything around it, was Mrs. Morris, and that was his mom, and I never knew it until later on. And kind of appreciate that that strictness that she displayed in the classroom. And but my years at Stang when I coached there was tremendous. And Isaiah Holman was coaching there, and he left, and it left an opening, so I applied for it. And that was some hard footsteps to follow, going behind Isaiah. I'm like, oh my God, Coach Bellistracci was good to me, Mr. Hart, and but Stang, I have a lot of highlights from that school, and I can understand why, guys, friends of ours went to the school, because I had some good stories. There are some bad stories that we hear here and there, but it was nice. Basketball has done some wonders for me and helped me out.
Wow, it's awesome.
Yeah. So you get to the high school, sophomore year, junior year, things are getting a little better for you as far as, opportunities. And Rhode Island College calls you, right?
Yes, Rhode Island College. Yes. Yep. Actually, Derek Morris ended up 1 year with me at Rhode Island College. Speaking of Derek.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to Rhode Island College. I was Jim Adams, who was previously at Providence College, and he's another great neighborhood guy like yourself, Charlie, and my dad. He could have went to any big university riding on the coattails of Providence College and Dave Gavitt, but he said, nope, he turned him down. I want to stay in the community and help the small college kids. And
very nice.
I didn't know that until I got there. Wonderful mentor of my life, one of them anyway. He recruited. I was his first recruit, myself and Mike Chapman out of New York City. And we started for 4 years there. He actually taught me how to practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And practice was more of the game than the game.
So true. And if you practice it in the game,
which helped me, I think, in developing my businesses and developing my refereeing, because you develop it's kind of like by trade, I'll call it. You get up every day and you run down the court, or you throw fastballs every time you have the opportunity. You go to work every day. Mm-hmm. It's practice. It's a lifestyle. And that contributed to the success of TrueBounce, because I haven't given up. I mean, I've got a lot of, what are you doing? This is not going to work, or you're crazy. You can't do this, and it didn't matter. Work ethic on the practice field is what gets you to win on Sunday.
Yeah, they didn't know who they were talking to when they were telling you that. You got a determination, and they just didn't know that no stop in Eric Britto. You displayed it in the court. and look at this successful business that you have that we're all proud of.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
Yeah,
Mike
absolutely.
Mike Samail says every season I always circled where New Bedford High appeared on our schedule. Game planning was always tough with those players and teams. And I'm
Absolutely.
pretty sure they were saying the same thing about you, Michael.
It's true.
it
Yeah,
yeah
yeah, yeah, tough player. Yeah,
yeah
we had to get down back into the neighborhood to play those guys.
uh-huh yeah
It was like down playing at Monty or Buttonwood. We had to turn on the neighborhood game.
I'm sure, and you know what, he appreciated it because you know tough competition brings out the toughness in you, and you all develop playing against each other. I
Yeah.
But I can't wait for that book. It's definitely he's some of the people that you probably would mention. Michael's probably interviewed them, and they talked about basketball, so it's going to be interesting.
Hmm.
The one of the things I like about you when you're refereeing is your communication. Especially when someone's talking to you about the call that you made. You say your hand was there, your hand was on the hip, you were grabbing, you would actually tell them what they're doing. You slapped them on the head. I heard it, I seen it, stuff like that you would do. And that later on develops a rapport, and people can kind of respect the call that Eric Britto is going to call on them, only because you keep that conversation going.
Hmm.
And I talk about technical fouls, but I haven't seen you give too many out.
I had my share.
And
Yeah, I had my
I don't know if I ever told you the story that especially when I was coaching at Sting, we have guys like Kenny Offley come in there, ref the games. Michael Kahn would come in, and there's a few others, and usually as the referees rotate around the court, right? And there would be a stop and play, and one of them be standing near me near the bench, and I would go, "Man, it's sure tough working alone today, huh?" And I pat him on the back, right? And then he do his rotation, go on the other side. The other ref come back on the side. I said, "Man, it's tough working alone today, huh?" And then later on, we go down to the locker room. I have to open the locker room for them, and they said, "Hey, it was tough for us both to be working alone today, huh, Coach?" Well, they never forgot me. They come back in the gym and say, "Coach, shake my hand," and just an icebreaker, and I appreciated it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome. Yeah,
so
it's
what's
like we
what's
call
new
that a
with
game. We call that a game within a game, Charlie.
what's that?
That's the game within the game. We call that.
You got cut out, Eric. It's a game.
Oh,
Oh yes, yes, yes. And I it's a good thing. In fact, I got to commend you. Refereeing is tough, but I do like it. I do like it. I've done it a couple of times in the summer leagues, and really liked it. Try to get my certification with the was it left? Was
oh
trying to
yeah,
get
left.
certified.
Yeah. The high school at the high school for the high
Yeah,
school games. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, in high school. Yep. So, you want to share any stories about refereeing? The most fascinating, funniest,
In the pros in college and at the Boys and Girls Club, the stories are all this. The Boys and Girls Club. I ran into your probably one of your a fellow police officers the other day. I was with Mike Grant,
uh huh.
and who pulled up
Yep.
David Concesio, and we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about the old days when the Little League was at the Boys and Girls Club. And I was like, that was one of the toughest places to referee in the little gym, Charlie. Place was
Yeah.
packed,
Yeah. Yep.
families, mothers, kids, men just coming to see the kids like Marcus Wills and those kids from Fairhaven and Pontiac. I mean, it was like 7 good teams, 12-year-olds. place couldn't even get a seat. And
No.
you better referee that game, or you're gonna get run out of there. Between the parents, the fathers, the kids, I mean, it was just awesome. And I was a young ref then, and I had to put, and the older guys there, like my dad and God rest his soul, Smokey Silva. Say, hey, you got to get Tony Montero. You guys got to get into this, man. This is good time stuff. And I really learned the pressure of refereeing right there in the little league. Mm-hmm. And of course, the next step was I'll tell you a story about when high school games were really popular. Durfee, New Bedford. Mm-hmm. Right, Skip Cameron was a legend, and of course New Bedford had the players, but Durfee had players too. So I think first 2 years I was a JV official, and that weekend was New Bedford Durfee at Durfee, and mm-hmm. I didn't have a game, so I says, "Hey, listen, I called somebody. I think I called my assigner, my referee assigner, Scully. His name was Scully at the time, and I was trying to get some tickets to the game because I wanted to go to the game." So he calls me back. He says, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you off on Tuesday night or Friday night?"
Yeah.
Said, "Yeah, I'm going to go to the game." He says, well, how about wanting to referee the JV game? I was mm-hmm. like, wow, right? This is my second year refereeing. So I go, I was like, okay, yeah, get all excited, get my gear ready, drive up, get the game going. Charlie, the end of the first quarter of the JV game, it was sold out. I looked up and I started shivering. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and they was not just there to wait for the varsity game. They was into the JV game.
Yeah. Yeah.
2-man game, and I think I cut my teeth on that game. And from then on, I kind of went up the ladder. And then the next couple of years I got a Durfee varsity game, and Skip Cameron, he was tough. He says, "Eric, Eric, just because you went to New Bedford High School doesn't mean that you get missed a call or you could." He gave me those kind of comments. I went, and I'm still in the neighborhood, so I went after him. My partner, who was Steve Lawless at the time, Steve.
Yeah.
Used to work at my dad's shoes all the time. Great name.
Great guy.
Great guy. He kind of came and grabbed me because I was like, you telling me I'm cheating? And I was like, oh man. And then the college level, I got to do some Division I ball. I got to do some Atlantic 10 ball. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, here's a story for you. So I was refereeing down George Washington when Kyle Hobbs was the head coach. Mm-hmm. Kyle Hobbs was from Boston. Wow. We know each other from the neighborhood and through Dave Lato, and he was in Connecticut, and he was the head coach. And I just happened, and of course the national people, they don't know where we come from. They don't know that I knew Kyle Hobbs, and mm-hmm. Kyle Hobbs. I was making calls like I was at Monty Playground, and he didn't like it, and he came after me, and I went after him. And,
I love it.
And I think the other refs who didn't know, other white refs, they didn't know the neighborhood was in the neighborhood there. Uh-huh. So Kyle, I gave him I let him know, and he let me know, and then it was, of course, our hair laid down, and it was all good. Familiar story. When I was in the NBA, I was refereeing Indiana. I think it was Indiana and the Lakers, and Reggie Miller was playing, and what's the coach's name? Larry Brown.
Yep.
So I think I missed a call. I missed the first call on Reggie Lewis. Reggie Miller, and then down the other end of the court, Charlie, I called a foul on Reggie Miller. Mm-hmm. Reggie Miller was mad at me. He came after me, this and that. So it was all done. The free throw was happening. Now, of course, I was standing next to the bench, and Larry Brown stands up. He says, "Hey, Eric, if you got the first call, you wouldn't have missed the second call."
Mm-hmm.
And he did it subtle and in my ear, and then he sat down. And 20 years later, I never forgot that story. That was a
Yeah.
lesson. That was a lesson. He just kind of like gave me a little nudge.
Mm-hmm. It's. I mean, it was some criticism, but taking it from him, man, that's something
Yeah,
special. You know,
it
and
is. It really is. Yeah, it helped me. It helped my. That was another situation that helped me escalate my level of intensity and professionalism at the professional level, which I kind of took that into um, growing the TrueBounce backboard, the perforated backboard across the country.
mm-hmm.
I knew how to navigate. I knew how to deal. I knew how to talk. I knew how to sell the concept to the game, the professionals, and that helped a lot.
Now, with the NBA, there's they're taking a true bounce and they have it in their practice facilities. Am I correct?
No, no, we haven't got to
Okay.
any of the professional levels yet. We've gotten some recreational venues in the college level, in the
Okay.
intramural sections. A lot of high schools have adopted the concept in Maryland, in Boston, and New York. Um, we're working on the college level now.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
Junior colleges, we're meeting with them, but it's a little more politically saturated, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
Definitely.
it's tradition. It's a 100-year tradition. What I think one of the challenges is the basketball community don't know about what's hanging in the building. They don't know about the backboard.
Yeah.
It came with the building. It comes with the structure. So my job over the years was to bridge the gap, the disconnect from the players and the people that put up the buildings and what we play on.
Good.
And it's working on it. It's working. It's working. We're chipping away at it, Charlie.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Now, do it's does your name stay on that backboard? Is it
Oh
altered
yeah.
or any way? Okay. All right.
Oh yeah. True Bounce.
Good.
Yeah, True Bounce is on the right lower corner, similar to the other companies that like a Spalding
All right.
or a Porter.
Yeah, and I seen it. I just didn't know when it got to them, did they try to alter it or anything like that, because of trademarks and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, no,
okay.
they'll be once we identify what the basketball backboard does for the game of basketball, then it'll be Katie by the door, Charlie. People will just change, like they change iPhones.
Hmm.
It's like nobody needs a basketball backboard right now, but do you want a better one?
Yeah.
No one
Yep.
has ever made a basketball backboard for the players of today's game, but
True.
True Bounce.
Yeah,
It's awesome. It really
it,
is.
I'm just glad that you bring it forward, because it probably when you look at it, you just think about the backboards that we had at Monty's playing. Um, they're no longer around. So could you imagine that would have just kind of faded away, and you kind of kept that idea, that brainstorm, and you're keeping it and you bring it to life,
Yeah. Hmm.
and perfected it
Yeah.
better than anybody else, and so I'm glad that you did have that brainstorm.
Yes, well said. Yeah. Hey, praise God for that.
Yes. Let's see. We got a comment here from looks like Derek Andrews here. Said, "Evening, gentlemen. What's good, Charlie? Eric Britto and Mike Samayo, two of the best point guards for Haven and New Bedford has seen. Derek Andrews here showing love." And he was a guest here on the Really Charlie podcast. And Derek, I also admired as an athlete, a basketball player.
Yeah,
Definitely did his thing, and just like you, he's into the ministry, doing his thing on another level. And I really like that. I really
that's
like that.
awesome. Thank you for the kind
Proud,
words. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm proud of you, Derek. Man, keep up the good work.
Man.
We got. Let's see. All right. That's sometimes you got a tendency of people just kind of getting on your podcast and doing ridiculous things, But the one thing I like is getting people to come on and talking to different people. Who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
Oh man. Hey, you know what I'd like to see? Stevie Gomes.
I,
Johan.
he's I've talked to it myself, Russell Ramus. We talked about it. Even if we have to go there and go see him, he's still in an area, still in the neighborhood. I reached out to some of the relatives, and he's definitely down for it. I got to get it, and just want to talk to him. And even if like I said, I don't care where it is. I could do it virtually. Me and Russell want to do it. So Russell Ramus, and we're going to end up doing that. And I'm glad that you mentioned it.
You know why I say that? Because he was instrumental in teaching us, the young kids, how to play.
Yes.
Fundamentally. And he yelled at us.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Stevie Gomes was the greatest player that come out of this area that I've seen.
It's just amazing.
That I watched it. I played with him and watched him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would be at the park. It'd be a one-on-one we'd play, or 2-on-2. He didn't have to wait for 10 guys to get on the court. Yep. I mean, he was just so in love with the playground atmosphere and teaching people how to play pick and roll. Mm-hmm. He's like, Eric, roll. And he put the ball right where I needed it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget those days. I know his brothers were all great entertainers, on the court. But for me, Stevie was the complete professional on the official court, on the wood, on the hardwood, and the blacktop. I'll call it.
Yes.
He was the same player on the blacktop as he was on the hardwood, and it's just a shame that he got hurt in that game at CYO that year, where he was a national prominent player too. Man, he was awesome. I'd love to sit in and talk with him and tell him how many pick and rolls he told me to roll down on Saturday or Friday night or something like that.
I'm gonna work on that. As soon as tomorrow, I'm gonna work on that and reach out to him. I just talked to his nephew just a few hours ago, so I'm gonna reach out to Johan and get him on here. And he had skills, both hands, shoot with both hands.
Bank shots. Talk about. Imagine if he was playing with the TrueBounce right now. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And actually, he's one of the few people you talk about being there at the park and playing one-on-one with him, is that he was one of those guys that actually, set it up and explaining where I should shoot the ball, before there was a square above the hoop, above the rim. He was telling me where to hit the certain part of the backboard so it will go in, especially if you were shooting from the wing and so on and so forth. But it was amazing with both hands what he could do. Amazing.
He was like, actually, I don't know if you watch Bonzi Cole's play. He was at Notre Dame.
Yes.
He's in the program. Excuse me. He reminded me a lot of Johan. Always around the ball, intelligent, smart, could pass the ball. Stevie was so intelligent. His basketball IQ was I think basketball IQ before there was basketball IQ.
Mm-hmm.
His basketball IQ was just off the charts. He just knew where to be, he knew what to do. He told you where to go. He could see the whole court all at once. He was like Larry Bird. He was like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. He didn't have a lot of talent. Natural ability to jump off and dunk over somebody, but he sure make you miss.
Yeah.
He knew how to play defense. He taught us how to play defense. A lot of the guys down at Monty were contributed to my success in college. Buddy Rocha, Sanders, Johan. Edmund, even though he cheated all the time.
Yeah.
He taught.
I
Oh,
can,
who else too was God rest his soul, was Jeffrey Martin. Taught me how to
yes.
play defense. So we had a lot of. Today, it's sad that the AAU systems have taken the kids out of the playgrounds,
Yeah.
because we had teaching and camps right there on Saturday, Friday night,
Hmm.
Wednesday. That's when we learned how to play. I
Yeah.
actually was the toughest basketball guard in my school in college, because I dealt with, between the Steele brothers all being football players, and
Yeah.
then against
Yeah.
Jeffrey Martin in the summer. I didn't even call a foul.
Oh, it, yeah, I was kind of blessed with, you know, being in the Bay Village, and if I look to the left, I could see Keithy Francis, Kenny Francis. If I look to the right, it was Jeffrey Martin, and if I look straight ahead, it was Dwayne Lopes.
Oh yeah,
So I just seen those guys, just especially when they were maybe going to the park or going to school, and my admiration for New Bedford High School was when two coats on. That's what I loved. I wanted to be like them. Dwayne Lopes was he was the guy that it was the Drew Pearson in my neighborhood. He just walked like him, and that's who he reminded me of, man. I said, and it so, but anyways, it
yeah. He could play some football. That guy.
yeah, he's definitely man, great. Between all his brothers, Dwayne's brothers, they were all great football players. Just needed a better opportunity. Paul Lopes, my age, he was doing pretty good, but you know, I thought he was going to be amazing. I said he's so big, he's strong, just like
Yeah,
Dwayne. And
yeah.
um, but the reason why they were so strong is because Gracie was whipping that butt. I love it. So let me see. We got another comment here from Deborah. Let's see. Hi, Charlie and cousin Eric. Great podcast. When Eric spoke, I could see my beloved brother Wayne. Precious memories. Awesome. Deb's a
Um,
constant supporter of the Really Charlie podcast. I really
really
appreciate you. And let's see, Michael. Playing in parks was an education on the fly, survival of the fittest. You got that right. Yeah, yeah.
You're right. You're
And
right.
the Mike said that a Cushioning kid, and we got another Cushioning kid that's doing well, and that's Demers from Acushnet. He's actually playing in the G League up in Maine, and he's doing very, very well.
Nice.
And so I'm hoping that they bring him up, let him play a game for the Celtics. Uh, but he's I think it was scoring in D2, um, scoring champion. Mike would have to correct me on that. Oh, we got another point guard on the line here. It's Todd DeSreet. Eric Britto taught me how to be a true pass first point guard.
Oh,
Man,
wow. Thank you.
awesome.
That's the kind words, Todd. Thank you very much.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
That was another great podcast for me. And Todd, I
Yeah.
really appreciate you coming on and talking to me and sharing your valuable time. Um, and
Oh,
sorry about that.
yeah.
the
Todd's in the big time too, man. You proud of him, man. He's national. He's a national figure on
Yeah,
in the entertainment world.
sure.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he's part of a lot of the great shows. You know, was it Longmire? I watched that whole series. If I could have watched it in 24 hours, I would have watched it. Amazing, amazing, series. And he was part of it. Every picture that I've seen, he was part of that. And it's a New Bedford kid, and
That's right. That's right.
it's awesome. The let me see. All right, let's see. Let's ask you a tough question here.
Well, Charlie, I'm a referee, so I know how to make the tough calls.
All right. All right. Let's see. 4 seconds on the clock. You're at Monty's. Who do you want to take that last shot?
Me.
Y'all, that wasn't tough. See, I love it. Yes. All right.
I'm taking the last shot.
Okay.
Hey, Charlie, listen, I was down there day and night shooting and dribbling. I'm getting that last shot.
Yep.
I'm not giving it to Kenny Francis. He wasn't down there every day. He's down there when he wanted to. Or
that's right.
Or Edmund Gomes would fly in and fly out. No, I'm taking this shot. And of course, I couldn't give it to Dwayne because he couldn't make a layup. and if I gave it to Donald, he'd never give it back.
Yeah.
Sonny Boy, yeah, maybe. Michael Kahn, he would have probably got fouled or something. Got to do something that he didn't know how to do or what to do. So no, I'm taking that last shot, Charlie. That was an easy one, Charlie. Give me a tough one.
All right. Let's say you're coaching now. Who would you allow to take that or call up a play, and who's going to be that person that's going to?
You mean in my era?
In your era, yep.
Wow, in my era. Okay. So you're a little younger than me. Who would I? Ooh, I don't know. I got to say maybe Marcus Wills.
Yep.
He was a special player in the playgrounds.
Sure
I think
was.
Marcus got our record for the playground scoring title for TrueBounce. I think he scored like 61 points one game over there, United Front. That's when I knew the backboard was legit.
Yeah, he was definitely
he was special. He was definitely special. Yeah. Actually, I coached him in the Sharik and all the neighborhood kids. My dad was the coach at for the Wellaway team. And I think I had just come out of college, and we was going to the regionals or the states or the CYO states. And I helped my dad when I was out of school there, and I coached the team up in Springfield. And Marcus played, and Sharik Mendes, and
I was talking about this maybe about 2 weeks ago, and people forget about Jared Remus. Jared Remus was
he was like his father, a tough player. His father was a tough player.
He sure was.
We battled in the playgrounds in the summertime. Yeah. Well, the whole family was a really good athlete. David Burr, the late David Burr, was a great athlete.
Yep. The whole family, they did everything well together, being up there. And thanks, Mike. Eric Demers, Gordon College D3, he played.
Okay.
He's playing in the G League.
Playing in the G League? Nice.
Yeah. So from Acushnet. The whole Burr family, they just played every sport well, and we try to give a little tribute to David Burr several months ago, and that went pretty well. Wish I had some more stories and to add on it. I talked to Kenny about coming on here and sharing some of his stories. He still has a lot of stuff that memorabilia that David had through boxing and stuff. So but great family. The as far as the Britto family legacy down at Monty's, you're probably getting called every year, and people asking different advice about down there, and it's going pretty good. I like what Brian did down there this summer, and John Silver and Ivan Britto, they try to keep up that legacy going with Monty's and the games down there. Are you still getting those phone calls, to help out and give some advice down there?
Yeah, and I kind of like to make myself available for it. I mean, the younger generation has their own ideas.
Yeah.
Of course, the way society is now is a little different,
Yes.
but the basic foundation is the same. It's a little different, Charlie, today because a lot of the players play for money.
Yeah. Yeah.
In our
Sure.
era, in our generation, we played for the love of the game.
Mhm.
So if you're not offering the players anything, they're not going to come down. They're going to go to
Yeah.
another
Venue.
tournament,
Hmm.
another tournament to play for money. Um, my father said, "Oh no, they'll come down for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a tournament together." And of course, he's in remembrance of the respect he got.
Yeah.
Plus, we had a trump card. We had pound for pound the beautiful girls in the world that would come
Hmm.
one weekend and see all the
Yeah.
players. And I used to kid my dad. I said, "Dad, you think you think you're famous. You think you're all doing a great job and getting this tournament every year for 30 years." I said, "They're not coming down for this tournament. They're coming down to see the girls." He was, here, give me a shrug or something.
Hey, this is a true story. I'm not gonna give any names, but it's a true story. Dude came from down south, right? He comes up here and he's only supposed to be here for probably a week, maybe 4 days. Hey, he stayed here throughout the winter into the summer, and he went back, and and it was all due to the girls.
Oh yeah,
He was
yeah,
just so fascinated going
yeah.
out, and he didn't get married or anything like that, but he was definitely here. He got caught up, and he didn't want to go back home.
Yeah.
He was but that's true story.
True
We
story.
kept him here for a year and a half almost.
My father was brilliant because we had to have the bank club, the Ultramarine Bank Club pageant and the 3-day weekend. And he
Hmm.
said, "You know what? I'm going to have a tournament in line with this." And the guys, of course, he thought about the players having a good time. And it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a tournament, and it just blew up from there
Yes,
because they would play and then go over to the band club and see the pageant, and it had festivities and food, and it just made it a yearly event. It was awesome.
yeah. David Concesio and I were talking about Greg Simpson, and yes, Greg, and the ball player he was, coming down here and playing, and it's you met so many people over the years. One guy that really stands out is Big Roscoe. Um, that dude can jump out the gym, and I was like, it was amazing how big he was and how strong he was. Um, and we look at the NBA, we got a guy like Zion that's so big, but I hope he doesn't play himself out of the league, or gain so much weight that he's not going to be able to play. He's only going to play about a 6 year time, and unless he gets into shape.
Yeah.
Um, I it's I actually got to one day get you on here with a few others and talk about the game, the NBA game, and the changes, and the 3 point shot, and you talk about it in your introduction or on your website for TrueBounce, and about the game and the 2 point game and how it's so fluid, and I wish there was so many opportunities to score a whole lot easier in this game, with just 2 points, whether it's a layup or a 15 footer, and they're bypassing it. They're just kind of throwing it out to that 3 point arc, and people are just shooting away. Um, uh, it's it's the worst. As a Celtic fan, I got to see that every game, and it drives me crazy. I wish they would kind of do quick offense. Have a quick offense where they're scoring a layup or shooting a 15 footer. Something like that. But
Well,
everybody's
yeah, we're working on that, Charlie. We're working. The True Bounce backboard is going to do that for you. All right.
yeah,
I think I
yeah.
invented it just for you, Charlie, so you could be comfortable.
I love it. I love it. Well, Eric, it's been an hour, and I really appreciate your time coming on this podcast. And now we have this video of you that we can keep for a lifetime, and I'm definitely gonna listen to it later on. Tomorrow morning when I'm going to work, and it's just good. This is what I do. I listen to podcasts and I start off my day with mine, and then Locked On Celtics, and then Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. That's my routine. That's what I listen to. I don't listen to local radio other than maybe WEEI. But so I'm gonna be able to listen to Eric Britto tomorrow morning. I can't wait.
Awesome. All right. I'll sleep well tonight knowing that, Charlie.
Let's see. Someone says those were the good old days, and someone wants to give us a hello. Big Jack says hello, Charlie and Eric.
All right.
One of my favorite football teammates, Jack Nagia. Awesome lineman. All right, Eric, I got to say, God bless you. Keep up the good work, and we'll try to hook up. I don't know your hours at the shop, so I'll have to go by there and bring your T-shirt to you.
Okay. All right.
Maybe
We'll get together. I get one of those hoodies for you.
That's it, man. I'm paying for it. So nothing's free, man. You got to support your cause. So
all right,
we're definitely gonna do that. All right.
All right, Charlie. Love you, man. Keep up
Love
the
you
good
too,
work,
brother.
Man.
You also take care.
Take care.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me with my guest, Eric Britto. Definitely one of the good mentors for me in my lifetime, and some of the things that he's done, just being a gentleman. He was always a gentleman first, and class act, and definitely, guys that were younger than him were able to, just follow his footsteps. He's just a true dude, and nothing, he's just transparent. I could see, he just got a beam. He's always smiling. Hey, Charlie, loved him. I'm glad he was on this podcast. And when he talked about basketball and the type of point guard that he was relentless. He was definitely someone you could depend on. And, I'm so happy that I can call him a friend. And so please, support the causes in the city, the local businesses, and TrueBounce. Everyone has a backboard in their yard, whether it's in the park or whether it's in your driveway. Recommend to your neighborhood parks, in our town parks, and say, hey, how about putting a TrueBounce backboard in the playground down the street, or talk to mom and dad and say, hey, I want a TrueBounce backboard in the driveway. It's definitely something that will help all your game, and it's quality. It's high quality stuff, and I can only say that because I shot on a TrueBounce backboard. So continue to support local businesses, and Eric Britto is definitely someone you should support. And I'm so proud of him. All right. This is the Really Charlie podcast, brought to you through StreamYard on Anchor, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like it, share all these videos. And if you want a guest on the Really Charlie podcast, just drop a name in the comment section, or get in contact me through social media, and I'll bring that guest on. All right, everyone. This Saturday we will have Lexi Barrows from New England Trailblazers. She'll be on it. She'll be on the Really Charlie podcast. I'm going to share some basketball stories with her. But 5 stars to TrueBounce backboards, and Eric Britto and Wayne Newton for bringing that fine product to our area, to the world, to the country. God bless y'all. Take care. Love you. Stay safe.